Hi everyone. So welcome back again to our discussion. So my name is Ma'am Saki de Mesa Puertas. You can call me Ma'am Saki or Doc Saki. So this is the class or a lecture about human behavior and victimology, specifically for the topic mental disorders and mental deficiency. So for the introduction, so mental health play a crucial role in individuals' well-being. So this influence our thoughts, our ating pag-isip, our emotions, and of course, our behavior. However, various conditions can impact mental functioning, broadly categorized into mental disorder and mental deficiency. So understanding this distinction is essential sa psychology, criminology, and of course, healthcare as they affect an individual cognitive ability. Naaapektuhan talaga ang pag-iisip ng isang tao when they have or manifested mental disorder or mental deficiency. So, emotional regulation, di nila na ma-manage yung kanilang emotion, and of course, social interaction or pakipag-usap or pakikipag-ugnayan, unawaan sa kapwa-tao. So let's define mental disorder. So a mental disorder is a condition that affect person thinking, pag-iisip, feeling, ang ating emosyon, mood, or of behavior. So this disorder can temporary or long term. Pwedeng pang madalian lang or short term, pwede din pang long term or mahabang um, mahabang proseso or mahabang panahon. Okay? They often interfere with our daily work or our daily life, our work, our trabaho, and of course, our relationship. What are the common disorder include? Number one is depression. So, commonly known na yan sa atin. Alam na natin siya. When we talk about depression, it is a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. So, pag sinabing depression, sobrang or tinding kalungkutan. Wala ka ng interest sa lahat ng bagay. Yung dating gusto mong gawin, ayaw mo na siyang gawin. So, yung lack of interest, that is depression. Severe or extreme sadness. Kahit bigyan ka pa ng mga gift, halimbawa, binigyan ka ng bagong phone or binigyan ka ng sasakyan, hindi ka masaya because you are depressed. Okay? Second is anxiety disorder. When we talk anxiety disorder, it is an excessive worry and fear that disrupt our daily activities. So ito naman yung lagi kang takot or lagi kang nag-worry na minsan nakakaapekto na sa ating pang-araw-araw na buhay. Next is the schizophrenia. Pag sinabi nating schizophrenia, it is a severe disorder affecting our thoughts, pag-iisip, or our thought process. Paano tayo mag-isip? It cause or lead to delusion and hallucination. So, nagkakaroon na ng delusion or hallucination sa atin kung ikaw ay nakakaranas ng schizophrenia. Ang schizophrenia, you need to be diagnosed by a psychologist. Okay? Bipolar disorder naman is an extreme mood swing. It is from depressive episodic to manic high. So, dalawa siya. So, it's either extreme sadness or extreme happiness. So, it's may span of time. Okay? Mental disorder can result to a combination pwedeng genetic, biological, psychological factor. Then, it also a treatment, may treatment naman siya, or pwede naman siyang gamutin or i-therapy. Typically, yun nga, sabi ko, therapy, medication, magte-take ka ng medicine. So, syempre, kailangan mo munang magpa-consult sa psychologist and psychiatrist para maka-access ka sa mga medicine or sa therapy na ibibigay for your specific condition or for specific condition ng isang tao. Pwede ding life adjustment. So, let's also define mental deficiency. Mental deficiency naman is also known as an intellectual disability. So, it refers naman to significantly below average cognitive functioning and adaptive behavior limitation. So, ito naman, pagdating naman sa ating pag-iisip, cognition naman siya. intellectual disability, sa ating pangunawa, sa ating kakayahang umintindi. Okay? So, unlike mental disorder, which may develop later in life, mental deficiency are usually present from birth or early childhood that affect intellectual abilities such as learning, reasoning, and problem solving. Kagaya ng sinabi natin kanina, pag sinabi natin or pag ang mga mental disorder, minsan may nagti-trigger lang dyan para biglang magkaroon ng depression o kaya ng anxiety or schizophrenia, bipolar. So later on, lumalabas siya. Pero pag sinabi nating mental deficiency, also known as intellectual disability, bata pa lang siya or early as young or toddler, ganyan. So, iba na, delay yung development. Medyo sinasabihan natin na hindi agad natututo or medyo slow, hindi nakapagsalita agad, aloof sa mga, halimbawa, ikalaro, ganyan. So, that is mental deficiency or intellectual disability. So, nagkakaroon ng problema sa intellectual, pagkatuto, learning, reasoning, and problem solving. Okay. So next is a definition of mental deficiency. Continuation. So this is categories of mental deficiency include number 1 is mild intellectual disability. So pag sinabi nating mild intellectual disability can function independently with some support. So pwedeng nakaka-function sila, natututo sila, pero kailangan mo ng suporta. Okay? Or kailangan mo ng alalay, assistance. Next is the moderate intellectual disability. This require naman assistance in daily tasks but can develop some independence. So ito naman, kailangan inaano mo sila, inaalalayan into daily tasks. Halimbawa ay magsuklay, maligo, mag-toothbrush, gumawa ng gawaing bahay, and then pag nagkaroon na sila ng routine, sanay na sila, so pwede ma-develop nila yon independently, kaya na nilang mag-isa. Next is a severe intellectual disability. So this require naman continuous supervision and assistance in daily life. So medyo mabigat na to. So ito naman, pag may ganitong isang tao o isang bata, it needs to be supervised hanggang pagtanda na niya or as long as he live. So kailangan siyang sinusupervise, tinitingnan, ina-assist para makasurvive siya in daily life or daily life. Okay? Next is profound intellectual disability. Highly dependent on caregiver in all aspect of life. So ito naman is kailangan talaga niya ng kasama. Highly dependent na siya. So kahit siya ay matanda na, kailangan meron siyang kasama para makasurvive siya sa pang-araw-araw. Mental deficiency often result to genetic condition. So pag sinabi natin mental deficiency, karamihan or karaniwan, genetic ang condition pa, namamana. Okay? Example is Down syndrome. Din tawag natin na mongoloid. So, pero the specific term is Down syndrome. So, pwede ding merong brain injury, prenatal factors such as malnutrition or substance exposure. So, pag brain injury, halimbawa biglang nabagok ng bata pa or nagkaroon ng tumor sa utak, so it can lead to mental deficiency. Pwede din prenatal factor, bata pa lang or baby pa lang siya, pinagbubuntis pa lang siya, nakakaranas or meron na siyang malnutrition, di okay yung supply ng vitamins or ng nutrition sa katawan ng nanay, na apektuhan yung development ng baby. Pwede din yung mga parents na exposed sa substance exposure or abuse. Halimbawa, nagda-drugs ang nanay. So, of course, meron yung effect sa anak. So, it can develop the mental deficiency. So, meron treatment. So, treatment focus on special education. So, ito yung mga tinatawag natin sa dito sa amin sa DepEd is SPED or special education. So, yung treatment niya is more on the special education. Pwede din kung may mga budget is through therapy and support system to enhance life skills. So in summary, while mental health disorder affect emotional and psychological well-being, mental deficiency naman impact the intellectual and adaptive functioning. So magkaiba yun. Again, mental disorder, emotion, and psychological well-being. Mental deficiency or learning or intellectual is more on the impact of intellectual and adaptive functioning. Parehas or both condition require different approaches in diagnosis. Paano siya i-diagnose? Magkaiba. And management and intervention. So, dito kailangan is ma-identify kung siya ba talaga is merong learning disability, mental deficiency, or mental disorder. Kasi magkaiba siya. Okay? So, understanding this distinction help providing appropriate support and treatment to those who are affected. Okay? So, bakit natin ito pinag-iusapan? Especially if you are in criminology or criminology courses, di ba? So, we need to understand that reasoning or our behavior are governed by our intellect. Okay? So, kailangan ma-identify natin kung ang gumawa ba ng crime or nakakommit ng crime is may mental disorder or merong mental deficiency because we have rules and ground regarding those person involved in crime na may criminal case pero meron tayong rule of intelligence. Okay? Next. So, role of intelligence in criminal cases. So, in criminal law, intelligence refers to the person's mental capacity to distinguish what is right and wrong. Ano yung tama or mali. When assessing criminal liability, the court consider whether accused had mental ability to form a criminal intent. Here are the three legal principles regarding mental state and criminal responsibility. The number one is the Macnaghten rules and the Durham rule. Then the third is the Article 12 of Revised Penal Code of the Philippines. 1. Okay? So the first is the Macnaghten rule on 1843. So the Macnaghten rule is a legal standard for determining insanity in criminal cases. Natandaan natin ha, Macnaghten rule is legal standard. Dinidetermine nito o ina-identify nito kung ang insanity in criminal cases. It is originated from the case of Daniel Macnaghten, who assassinated, pinatay, a British official while suffering a delusion. Okay? So this rule state that the person is not, again, the state or the rule state that the person is not criminally responsible if at the time of the crime, during the crime, they were suffering from mental disorder. That, number one, prevent them from understanding the nature of their acts. So dahil nga wala sila sa tamang pag-iisip, di nila alam yung ginagawa nila. Second, or prevented them from knowing that their action was wrong. So hindi nila alam kung mali yung ginawa nila. Okay? So this is the strict rule that focus on the cognitive impairment, meaning that the defendant, yung pumatay or nagkasala, must prove they did not understand their action that carries to the sanctions of insanity. Again, Macnaghten rule, you are not criminally responsible if at the time of the crime, you are suffering from mental disorder. Okay. Bawa, napatay mo siya, pero during the investigation or assessment, hindi mo alam yung ginagawa mo or nandun ka or nagsasuffer ka from insanity. Okay? So next is the state or this rule state that the person is not criminally responsible if due to mental disorder, they did not understand the nature and quantity of their act or did not know their act was wrong. Example, a man diagnosed with schizophrenia believe he is being attacked by a demon. In his delusional state, he stabbed a pedestrian thinking they are a threat. If medical evidence proved that he was incapable of understanding his action or knowing they were wrong, he may be acquitted from the McNaughton rule and sent to psychiatric hospital instead. Okay? So, kung halimbawa, during that time, McNaughton rule is nakapatay siya, and then upon diagnosis, nagsasuffer siya from schizophrenia nung nakapatay siya mismo. So, acquitted siya or mawawalang bisa yung pagkakapatay niya. Kasi again, hindi niya alam yung ginagawa niya or hindi niya alam na mali yung ginawa niya. Okay? That is the McNaughton rule. Second is the Durham rule around 1954, also known as the product test. So this rule naman was established in Durham versus the United States. It states that the defendant is not criminally responsible if their unlawful act was the product of mental illness. Unlike the McNaughton rule, the Durham rule focused on whether the mental illness directly caused the crime rather than just cognitive awareness. So this rule was later criticized for being too broad, masyadong malawak, and was eventually replaced in many jurisdictions with American Law of Institute, which consider both cognitive and volitions impairment. So this rule states that the person is not criminally responsible if their unlawful act was the product of mental illness. So it is border or mas malawak siya kesa sa McNaughton rule because it does not require proof of inability to distinguish from right or wrong. Unlike McNaughton, kailangan during that crime, upon assessment, nagkaroon ka ng may mental illness ka. Pero sa Durham rule, kailangan lang is ma-identify na meron yung unlawful act was not the product of mental illness. Example, para mas malinaw. A man with severe bipolar disorder commit arson, nanunog, during manic episode, believing he is fulfilling a divine mission. Under the Durham rule, if medical expert confirm his mental illness caused the crime, he could be found not guilty due to insanity. Okay? So example, gumawa siya ng krimen, pero meron na siyang diagnosis. Na-diagnose na siya. O meron siya previous na sakit talaga. May sakit talaga siyang bipolar. Tapos nanunog siya. So therefore, meron siyang mapapawalang visa or ma-acquaint siya kasi meron na siyang record of insanity or meron siyang sakit talaga sa mental health or mental issues about bipolar. Okay, malinaw. Ulitin ko para mas mag-ayos. Pag McNaughton, pwedeng wala kang diagnosis. Hindi ka na-diagnose or wala kang sakit previously. Pero during nung kinumit mo yung crime, upon investigation, upon diagnosis, kaya kaya pala niya yung nagawa is meron pala siyang schizophrenic. Ngayon lang natin nalaman. Kasi bisa interview sa kanya, may nakikita siya or nagkakaroon siya ng illusion or delusion, ganyan. Pero sa Durham rule, kailangan is previously diagnosed ka o meron ka talaga mental illness bago mo na-commit yung crime. Okay? So, no need na para i-evaluate or i-assess ka for insanity. Okay? Sana malinaw po yun. So, the third is the Article 12 of the Revised Penal Code of the Philippines. So, this Article 12 outlined the exempting circumstances in criminal liability, including insanity and lack of intelligence. It states that the person is not criminally liable if they were completely deprived of prison at the time to the crime due to insanity. Second is they were under 9 years old, 9 years old pababa, as children lack of criminal intent. Okay, so those over 9 but under 15 are also exempted unless proven to have act with discernment. Next is individual act under the an irresponsible force or uncontrollable fear. Next is those who committed crime due to insuperable or lawful act of legal duty or force majeure. So, exempt for the person from criminal liability if they were completely deprived of reason due to insanity, they were a minor or menor de edad from 9 years old or under 15 without discernment. Next is they act under the irresistible force or uncontrollable fears. Nagawa nila yun, sobrang takot, ganyan. Example tayo. A 10-year-old boy unaware of the consequences of his action, di niya alam yun na yung consequences ng kanyang action, nagnakaw, steal a wallet from a store. Under the Article 12, he cannot be held criminally liable because he is below the age of discernment, which is 10 years old pa lang siya. So, however, if he understood that stealing was wrong, he might face legal charges or consequences. So, tinanong mo yung bata, upon kung may discernment man siya, na nalaman mo na masama or mali talaga yung ginagawa niya, so pwede siyang ma-face to criminal consequences or legal action. So, pag ganito, minor de edad, ang nagpa-process is the DSWD. Okay? Under the Article 12 Revised Penal Code of the Philippines. So next, abnormal person definition and characteristic. The abnormal person refers to an individual whose behavior, thoughts, or emotions significantly deviate from what it is considered typical or socially acceptable. Sa psychology, abnormality does not simply mean different, but often involve distress, dysfunction, danger, or deviation from the cultural norm. Gumagawa ng hindi naaangkop sa ginagawa ng maraming tao. So that is abnormality in psychology. So what are the perspective of abnormality? So madami siya. First is statistical perspective. Behavior is considered abnormal if it's rare or uncommon. Example is extremely high or low IQ. Sobrang taas or sobrang baba ng IQ. So that is statistically perspective, hindi siya naayon sa karamihan. So that is abnormality. Next is social norm deviance. If a person's behavior violates societal expectation, it may be deemed abnormal. Example is extreme aggression or withdrawal. So pag hindi naman siya or nababiolate niya yung social expectation o yung ginagawa ng karamihan or karaniwang tao, it can be deemed for abnormality. So yun yung extreme aggression, sobrang aggressive or aggression, nananakit, ganyan. Or withdrawal, ayaw makihalubilo. So that is social norm deviance. Next is maladaptive behavior. Maladaptive behavior naman is when a person action interfere with our daily life, work, or relationship. Example is severe anxiety preventing them from leaving the house. Ayaw nang lumabas ng bahay kasi sobrang natatakot. So, sobrang severe anxiety. This can cause the maladaptive behavior. Next is the personal distress. Personal distress is a person suffer from emotional pain or distress. Example is depression or suicidal thoughts. So it can cause or can be fall for the perspective of abnormality. So may personal problem na, suicidal thoughts. So need na talaga siya ng tawag doon, mag-consult sa psychologist, psychiatrist, even counselor. Via psychosocial model, consider interaction of biologically, psychologically, and social factor in defining abnormality. So ito naman, so may biological factor na, psychological, and social factor. So it more on defining to the abnormality. So what are the example of abnormal behavior? Number one is hallucination and delusion, common in schizophrenia. Pag nag-hallucinate na or nagkakaroon na ng delusion. Next is an extreme mood swing, seen in bipolar disorder. Severe mood swing. So, sobrang sayang saya. After ilang months or season, biglang depressive, lungkot, di ma-explain kung bakit, wala namang nangyari, pero sobrang lungkot niya, yun yung lumabas. Extreme mood swing. Next is compulsive and obsession. Compulsions and obsession. So this is observed in obsessive compulsive disorder o yung tinatawag nating OCD. So, halimbawa, sobrang organized, tapos hindi nasunod yung organization niya, nagkakaroon na stress siya, naiiba yung mood niya. Okay, so mga ganon. Lack of emotional response, symptoms of some personality disorder. So, lack of emotional response, pwedeng mga symptoms nito is personality disorder. Paiba-iba yung ugali, ganyan, or personality. So, abnormality versus mental disorder. Not all abnormal behavior indicate a mental disorder. Some behavior might be unusual or kakaiba, pero hindi naman siya harmful. Such as unique talent or eccentric habit. Okay? A mental disorder naman is diagnosed when abnormal behavior cause significant impairment or distress. So in summary, sa kabuuan, an abnormal person is someone whose behavior, thoughts, or emotions significantly deviate from societal, statistical, or functional norm, while abnormality is often linked to mental illness. Not all deviation from the norms are problematic. Hindi lahat naman ng abnormality is na nakalink sa mental illness is problematic. Okay? Minsan social adjustment lang. Nahirapang makipag-communicate, socialized, or gumawa ng daily tasks sa pang-araw-araw. Understanding abnormality help them and treat them or treating mental health condition effectively. So if you're a criminology student na may mga cases about abnormality and mental disorder, you need to know also the underlying factors. Ano ba talaga yung causes, or usually pag nakagawa siya ng crime, ano yung preventive o yung kung ano yung gagawin mo as a law enforcer. So if you have any question, you can comment down below. So kung wala naman, so please like and share this video. So yun lang, and see you again in our next topic. Thank you.